This is Eric in Buffalo. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Eddie. How's it going?
Great.
One quick thing before I get into what I talk about. Thank you so much for what you do for the rock and metal community. Really brings us together.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
But two things I wanted to talk about is with Guns N' Roses. I was back home and I was driving around and I saw a billboard that just showed, their logo. And I've been hearing rumors that they're going to be announcing a tour next year in North America, which is exciting. So I want to talk about
You saw that in Buffalo where you live?
Correct, yeah.
How long ago did that go up?
Black Friday.
Yeah, well, there you go. If you remember, when they did their stadium dates, billboards just started popping up in certain cities signaling they were coming there. So they're doing the same thing. They're absolutely going to be touring throughout America again in 2017, and the official dates will be announced any day. That's absolutely going to happen.
But the other thing I was going to talk about, especially if there's another tour, is you got to assume things are probably going well with the guys. What do you think about a new album? I know there's been some small talk about it, but I just want to know your thoughts about that.
I don't think it's anything that's imminent or even in discussion, to be honest with you. And again, Eric, just so everybody knows, and thanks for your call, I have, of course, friends with Slash, friends with Duff, know Axl, friends with Adler, who drifts in and out of there, know all the guys. The current drummer, Frank is an old friend. He lives actually 10 minutes from me in Jersey. Richard Fortis I know. Dizzy I know. All of these guys I know. I literally know everybody in that band. The only person that I don't know is the new keyboard player, the woman Melissa. But when I speak like this isn't like they're giving me information, because they're not. None of those guys talk. We talk off the record. We talk as friends, but they're just still not doing interviews. You do a reunion to make money playing live. Making money playing records, making records is extremely difficult now. And the dynamic of trying to go into a studio and make a record is massively different than guys just trying to get up on stage and play a set of music live. So I don't think that a new record or new music is something that's even in discussion right now. A statistic came out about a week ago that Guns N' Roses made more money than any other band on the road this year. They averaged $5.5 million gross per show. They had the highest average cost ticket price. That translates into cleaning up business-wise on the road. When you are rolling like that, making that kind of money, everyone seems to be getting along. The shows are great. Axl's singing great. Against all odds, all the things that people said this band was not going to be able to do, they're doing. The last thing you're going to do is break that momentum and try to go in to the studio and make a record. You're just going to continue to kill it live, do your live thing. That could be a very long, very expensive, very complicated process to make a record with the dynamic of this band. And in the end, who knows what happens with it when we are in a world where it is getting each day virtually impossible to get people to buy music. I mean, Metallica's new album came in at number 1 and sold 300,000 copies in America, just shy of that, and entered at number 1. You have albums entering number 1 on the charts that are coming in, selling 100,000 and getting to number 1. Metallica selling 300,000 records last week would be the equivalent in 2003 of them selling like 3 million records. It's pathetic. It's just the bar continues to get lower and lower and lower as far as the amount of people buying music. It just plain sucks. People, I'll just stream it. I'll listen to it on Spotify. Then Thursday, I went over to Dodger Stadium and saw Guns N' Roses for the second time on this tour, the first time being when Axl was still in the chair and the very, very first show they played, which was in Vegas. So this was the first time I saw the stadium show, and I went out there with Brent. Thank you, Duff McKagan, who was nice enough to take care of me. And we got out there early, saw some of the Cult. They sounded great. The Cult have so many cool songs. They really are an ideal opening act for Guns N' Roses. They just fit that really well, I think. And then went backstage, and, Guns N' Roses have this insane hospitality tent for their guests that was air-conditioned and fully stocked with a huge open bar. So saw a ton of people there and hung out for a little bit. I spoke with Duff McKagan a couple times and texted with Slash. Didn't see Axl. What was really crazy, and the show in L.A. that I went to, they went on really early. And I got to laugh because all of this discussion about what time will Guns N' Roses go on, if they tour and all that leading up to this, they're going on like a regular time. And in L.A., people were complaining because they went on too early. They went on 8:10 in L.A. at Dodger Stadium. And that was because there was a real hard curfew there. And, they play for 2.5 hours, 2:45. So they got to get on stage by 8:10, 8:15 to be off by 11 if these venues have hard curfews. Now, Guns N' Roses, before this reunion, have played shows before where the venue has had a hard curfew, and they didn't care. So what's changed, I don't know, but obviously there's a mandate with this reunion lineup to say, hey, we're not paying overages, we're not going on late, and we're going to get on and off stage when we're supposed to, and it's working. The entire thing is working. I've said this many times, and I'm just being honest. I have never seen a reunion where it has been more unanimously positive. Even the people who were down on this reunion, the haters, the people that said it wouldn't last, it would implode after one show, the people that said that they would go on late, or all these various things, which, let's be honest, I mean, there was a precedent. People they're just not making that stuff up. Of course, there was a precedent for saying that, but all of it has been shot down. It really has been. In my radio show, I've never taken calls more unanimously positive about a tour in a really long time than this Guns N' Roses tour. They are nailing it. They are playing brilliantly. And the thing that's just blowing people's minds is Axl Rose. Because vocally, he's as good as he's ever been. And this guy is up there on that stage for nearly 3 hours, nailing everything. It's astonishing. I don't know what he did. I don't think he was ever that bad to begin with, although he certainly had good and bad nights in the past. But he is nailing it like he's 20 again. And it's amazing. I watched from like the third row of Dodger Stadium, and the guy is just spot on. And, I had a theory that he was so good in Vegas because he wasn't moving and it was helping him keep his wind. Well, now he's running all over a giant stage, and he's still nailing it. Slash, as good as he's ever been, one of the all-time greats. What else can you say? Duff, rock solid. Big in the vocal department, too, for the band. And let's not forget what I think the unsung heroes here are the other guys and the other woman in that band, because they're kicking ass. And Richard Fortus, who is a great player in his own right. I saw Richard play not only in Guns N' Roses in the previous lineups, but I saw Richard play in Thin Lizzy. And there's a moment in the show where Richard and Slash do some trade-off stuff and do a Pink Floyd cover, and it's just great. And yeah, I know there's still people saying, hey, where's Izzy? Where's Izzy? And everybody would love to see Izzy. Everybody would love to see Adler, even though he's popped up a couple times. But this is still amazingly good. And sometimes everybody isn't fully on board with what is going on. I think it's amazing. And I think it's great for rock. It's great to have rock bands playing in stadiums like this. And it's great to see Guns N' Roses in this form. And for Guns N' Roses, this is a unanimous slam dunk in terms of success, money, excitement, fan support. People are loving it. Seems to be no issue, no drama. Everybody has their space. The tour has already announced South America, already announced Australia, and I will bet anything, barring any sort of out of left field implosion, that you will also get easily another run of Guns N' Roses shows through the U.S. And I would say an arena run would be most likely. So this is good all the way around. Even if you're not a Guns N' Roses fan, this is good for rock. It's good to see a stadium filled with fans. And Guns N' Roses have a fan base, and I was saying this to some friends the other day. When I was walking through Dodger Stadium looking at their fan base, they have a diversity in their fan base that any band would kill for. Male, female, young, old, rock fans, metal fans, pop fans, mainstream music fans, casual fans. This band has an appeal that goes way, way, way broader than just hard rock. And if you really think about it, they built all that in a really short period of time. Appetite and the Illusion records. So it's amazing what goes on with Guns N' Roses. The mystique, the excitement, very interesting and very well calculated that up to this point they haven't done interviews. They've kept a level of mystique, and they are just dominating right now. So good for them. And Slash and Duff have been friends for a really long time, and I'm very happy for them. Not to say either was struggling. And Duff, although musically wasn't having huge numbers in terms of people coming out, Duff is a businessman. Duff is incredibly smart. So it wasn't like he was in any sort of financial distress. So this is all good. And the show I saw was phenomenal. They sounded phenomenal. I ducked out of there just before the last song because traffic in LA, as everybody knows, is brutal. And Slash had sent me a text earlier. He said, "I'll see you after the show." I said, "Yeah." I went to the Rainbow. I was having something to eat. I get a text from Slash. He goes, "Are you still here in hospitality?" I said, "No, man, I broke out of there. I didn't want to get stuck in traffic." He said, "Very smart." He said, "I popped my head in there. It was such a scene. I got out." He goes, "I'm at home, man. I'm out." So, shows how times have changed. Back in the original Guns days, Slash probably would have been there holding court, getting hammered, and here he was. He did a runner out of the venue himself and was home, probably very happy to be in his own bed for the first time in a while Dodger Stadium was emptying out. But real happy for the guys, and it's delivering on every level, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Now, Axl will do these 10 shows with AC/DC. We'll see what happens on that front, which will be interesting. And then the gun stuff resumes, and I'll keep you posted on all. And yes, I know everyone's still asking me about the potential of a Guns N' Roses interview. Dialogue is ongoing. It's not something that happens easy or quick with that camp, but I've been assured that if it happens, I will be doing the interview. So fingers crossed this will get done, and I'll have an exclusive for you guys on one of my platforms very, very soon.